Cut this, not that. We already know the Defense Department is eyeing its deepest cuts in decades, which makes you wonder, why is the Department of Defense splurging on things like green fuel? Take a look. The Department of Defense paid up to $150 a gallon for green jet fuel made with algae. Regular jet fuel costs less than $3 a gallon. Shouldn't we be eliminating things like that when it comes to the proposed $75 billion in cuts? Let's talk to Sean Parnell. He is a retired U.S. Army infantry captain and ranger and senior advisor for Concerned Vets for America. He joins us today from Pittsburgh. Good morning to you, Sean.
Good morning, Steve. How's it going?
It's going okay, although, you know, people watching this right now, their blood pressure is going to start ticking up.
Why? I mean, it's just outrageous. It's outrageous.
$150 for jet fuel, but it's green jet fuel.
This is just another example of a wasteful government spending program and overall indicative of a Department of Defense that just does not have its priorities straight at all. And anytime I see a piece like this, I wonder, why is the Department of Defense involved in the biofuel industry in the first place? That's why we have a Department of Energy. Let the scientists in the laboratories research whether or not biofuel is lucrative in the military. But what I want the Department of Defense to do is focus on one thing and one thing only. That's winning wars and protecting the American people. That's what I want. And on top of that, let's make sure that we honor the sacrifice of our servicemen and women who raised their right hand to serve in a time of war.
Yeah, and so what are we doing? On Capitol Hill, they're cutting the budgets for all sorts of things involving our military. But at the same time, we got money to pay $150 a gallon for this algae gas. They're going to run in some jet airplanes. When I was, we saw the headline and then I started to read about it. As it turns out, these things are being produced. I know of one case where it was produced by a company that had been a big Democratic donor, and because of their small companies, what they're trying to do is, rather than giving them an outright loan, they're simply buying the gas for $150 a gallon to subsidize these outfits.
Yeah, I mean, it's the government stabbing in the dark to try to pick a biofuel. What they should be doing is trying to improve the fuel efficiency across the spectrum of the military incrementally so that we don't outpace technology. That's what we want to do. That will save money. It will make our force more fuel efficient, and it will increase operational capabilities. But no, instead, we're investing a lot of time and a lot of energy in biofuels that's just not technologically viable on the open market, and we're wasting time. And Steve, we fiscal crisis in this nation, the likes of which have never been seen before, and we're dealing with an administration that spends like a teenager with a credit card. We need leaders to step up to make some tough decisions right now, and there are probably 100 programs exactly like this that can be cut prior to getting to cutting the pay and benefits of our military servicemen and women.
As a guy with a teenager with a credit card, I know exactly what you're talking about right there. But even if I got the balance statement and it said $150 she spent on a gallon of gas, I'd hit the roof, as America will as well when they find out about this. Sean Parnell, always a pleasure. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. Have a great weekend.
Hey, Steve, can I just make one more point?
Sure.
Listen, it's Mother's Day. It's Mother's Day weekend. We've got mothers all across this nation that aren't going to be able to be with their loved ones. We are a nation that is still at war. Let's remember and pray for those mothers this weekend.
Absolutely. Well put. Sean, thank you very much.
Thanks, Steve.
And to mothers everywhere, happy Mother's Day come Sunday.